Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this live stream for the 2025-26 Scottish Premiership Fixtures Announcement. We're just waiting on the SPFL. They are supposed to make an announcement at 9 a.m. So let's hope nobody's watching this stream and having me on. Got me sitting here to 10 o'clock waiting on them. They should be on time. In the meantime, we're going to look at some of the topics I've not had a chance to talk about across the league, because there's some changes in the league this season in terms of investment in different clubs, which sort of puts a different complexion on it, I suppose. I'll let everybody filter in. This is definitely the earliest video I've ever made. I've not even had my breakfast yet. Don't know why I suggested to do this, but we crossed 45k the other day, so thank you to everyone who subscribed. That's a nice wee milestone for us. I suppose we know that the sort of big fixtures that we're looking for are: who do we start against? When are the derbies? We know we're going to go to Ibrox for the first derby, because that's the opposite of what happened last season. So there's a few key dates to look for. I know everybody's interested in the fixtures around Christmas, because there's a lot of things to plan around that time, and that's where it gets really congested, obviously, with the new Champions League format. The run up to December is a crazy time in terms of the number of games, especially if you're trying to travel to some of these European away trips. There's a lot to plan and organise. So let's take a look then at the teams in the league this season. As you know, Livingston are back. Falkirk have also been promoted after winning the championship. St Johnstone and Ross County have dropped out, so no more trips to the Highlands this season, which I must say is welcome, because there's been a couple of sketchy journeys up there in the depths of winter. So I can't say I'm disappointed to see Ross County drop out. I have to be honest. Let us know in the comments who you'd like for Flag Day. I think it was Kilmarnock last season, wasn't it? And any other fixtures you're looking for. I think Flag Day is always a brilliant occasion. So almost regardless of who we play, I've got a bit of a hunch they'll give us a tougher test this season than maybe in seasons gone by. But be maybe like a Hearts or something on the opening day of the season. We'll have to wait and see. But I think Falkirk being in the league's good. I enjoyed that cup tie that we had against them. They brought a brilliant support. I think they'll definitely add something to the league. I think the way they play under John McGlynn as well is really good. I don't think it's a normal style of play if you look across the league. I think they're a lot more expansive and a lot more open. So looking forward to seeing what Falkirk bring to the league. And obviously we know that Livingston, they have the plastic pitch. It's a good away day, right enough, in terms of the numbers of tickets we can get. But it'll be interesting to see how they approach things on their return to the league, because obviously they played a bit more attacking football down there in the Championship. You'd expect them to go back to their more traditional approach in the Premiership, which is obviously a more direct defensive one. So let's have a look then at the SPFL website. We're about 5 minutes away. I'll have some of the key fixtures run along the bottom of the screen when they come out. In the meantime, while we're waiting on that, is there any questions that you've got? Put them in the comments. A lot of talk about Lennon Miller in the last week or so. I haven't gone into any depth on Lennon Miller in transfer videos. I just don't see it happening. Crazy sum has been talked about in terms of £10 million for Lennon Miller. I think he's a great player. I think it's someone I'd like to see him. I'd like to see him sign for Celtic, but I don't think that we're in a position to buy him. It looks like there's a lot of interest in him. He may well go abroad. And I think his position in this Celtic squad would be to come in and bide his time and maybe work towards replacing someone like Callum McGregor over the longer term. But he's not going to do that. He's played a lot of first team football. He's in demand. I don't think there's any way that he'll be happy to settle for not a squad berth at Celtic, not like he would sit on the bench and never play, but I think he'll want to go and play week in and week out, and I'm not sure we can offer him that. I'm not sure that we're going to have a midfield of McGregor, Lennon Miller, and Engels, for example, and I don't think that's the best setup for us either. In midfield, I think that's missing some of the key attributes I talked about when we were analysing the midfield the other day in terms of physicality, in terms of aggression against the ball. So I don't think we're going to get Lennon Miller. It would be amazing, by the way, if Miller will fetch anywhere near 10 million quid for the overall deal, including add-ons and all that. I would find that absolutely remarkable. Talking about some of the changes in the league, I think Hearts have got new investment from Tony Bloom, which I think is maybe about 9 million quid. if Motherwell could scoop that for selling one player, they'd be doing well. And again, that would really help their finances out, because I mean that's probably way more than their annual budget. So right, let's get some questions. Stacey Devlin, your favourite away trip? Favourite away trip? I do love Tannadice. I love Tynecastle as well. I think Tynecastle is quite unique in terms of how steep it is, how close you are to the pitch. It's a good atmosphere, quite intense obviously when we go there, because there's no love lost between us and Hearts. But I'd say between Tannadice and Tynecastle. And Ibrox is always good if you can be on the end of a victory. But probably between Tannadice and Tynecastle for me. Jamie McGowan, what's Celtic Fans TV's thoughts on taking away the free European qualifier and pre-season friendly and charging the fans? I don't agree with it at all. I think it's a bit of a scandal, to be honest. I think the price of football increases year after year. We've obviously had quite a significant increase in the season ticket prices this season. You need to remember that the Celtic fans sold out season tickets in the COVID year to watch a Celtic TV stream and paid full price. And I think Celtic fans, and this probably goes for other fans at other clubs, but we're here to talk about Celtic, go to the well time and time again for their clubs and put their hand in a pocket. And I know that's part of it. That's always going to be part of it. It's what it's about. You are financially supporting the club, but it seems to be like you pay more and more and you get less and less. I think 25 quid is it for a ticket for this friendly against Newcastle. I think it's a nonsense, really. I think a lot of people won't bother going because of that, and I think that's right. I mean, it's a pre-season friendly. There's nothing really riding on the game, so I think they could have easily, if not free, made it like a fiver, a tenner. I don't know. I think 25 quid steep, and obviously the qualifier, given it's a playoff, it will be against a big team. There's no chance we're getting that for free either. But I digress, because we're at 9 a.m. and let's just check if these fixtures are out. Server error, there you go. The SPFL have a server error. Imagine that. Right on 9 a.m. when they're supposed to make the announcement, they've got a server error. Brilliant. Right, we'll keep an eye on that. If anybody sees the fixtures coming out on Twitter, give us a shout. I'm trying to be across that as well, because I know they'll make the announcement there. Probably at the same time as they do, and Celtic will probably have our first five put out as well. So Celtic have put up a statement this morning saying that the 25-26 fixtures are coming soon. Is this where they tell us there's a delay? And I'll be sitting here all morning, doing my breakfast, get a haircut in about an hour. So if they are delayed, we might not get to discuss them on this live stream. I mean, that's kind of remarkable that Celtic have put out a club statement. It's got one sentence saying, "We'll be bringing you this season's fixtures shortly, full stop." I think we knew the fixtures were coming. So that's a bit of a strange one. Right. Back to the questions in the meantime. Thoughts on the new kit, Dean Smith? Oh, hold on. Come back to that one, Dean, because I think the club have confirmed Celtic's first 5 fixtures. Just received a Twitter notification there, so let's see who we have got. We are home to St Mirren. Let me just see if I can share this screen for you. There you go. We are home to St Mirren, away to Aberdeen, home to Livingston, away to Rangers, and away to Kilmarnock on the 13th of September. So we start the season on Sunday the 3rd, 4:30 kickoff. That's a bit of a nightmare. Is that what they did last season? That's I've seen someone already commenting, saying they hope it was Saturday at 3:00. It never is because it's televised, but I think Sunday at 4:30 is a bit of a blow. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments. I think 12:30 is even better than 4:30, especially on a Sunday because people tend to have work the next day. Aye, it's a bit of a nightmare to be kicking off at 4:30. Nightmare for the Irish fans, Timothy's saying as well. Trying to get over and organise travel, but between Sky and the SPFL, they do find a way to make life as awkward as possible for everyone. So there you go. That is the first 5 fixtures. St Mirren at home, Aberdeen away, Livingston at home, Rangers away on Sunday the 31st of August. That derby always lands around the end of August, start of September. So that'll be the final game before the first international break of the season at Ibrox. That'll be a big one. Rangers under new management and new ownership. So that'll be a big game for us. It's always a marker, the first derby of the season. So looking forward to that one. And then we come back from the international break away to Kilmarnock. So let us know some thoughts on those. St Mirren in Europe, I think they are, aye. Did they sneak in at the end of the season? I think they might have. No, I think our equaliser killed it for them because the result in the other game and our equaliser meant they missed out on Europe. So no European football for St Mirren this season. Helen's saying the transfer window closes 1st of September. It does. So we've got a lot of work to do before that. I don't think it's time for the panic button yet, but no signings. I think everybody's just waiting with bated breath because they don't want to have another underwhelming window. We'll see how things go. I'll take that screen away. There you go. That's how we start at home at St Mirren. Sunday 4:30 kickoff. Total nightmare for the SPFL, but what did you expect? I think that's what we had last season against Kilmarnock as well. So let me check if there's any more questions. Does the transfer deadline end after the Champions League qualifying? No, it doesn't. I think that fixture, the Champions League qualifier, will be way before the end of August because it's usually about 28th, 29th August that the group stage or the league stage draw is done. So we'll have plenty of time to get bodies in. But I know this is Celtic we're talking about, so we'll probably still end up floundering around on the last day of the window. Sheminator, do you think World Cup next year means Carter Vickers could move on this summer, or his injury record be a potential benefit to us keeping hold of him? I talked about Carter Vickers the other day. I think it's a key season for him. It's a key summer. I think we've got to accept that he may well deep down want another challenge. He might not. He might be happy here. He might want to stay at least until the end of his contract. Although having said that, his contract up in 2029, you would never want to lose him for nothing. But I think it's about his head being in the right place. I think that's the case for a few players in the team. I mentioned it with Hatate as well. When you've been here for a spell of 3-4, entering your 5th year, and you've won everything, you need to make sure that everybody's bought in and they want to be here, and they want to really work for it. Because if you have one or two players who deep down don't want to be here, that might sort of change the mentality in the dressing room, and that sort of complacency can set in if you've got players at the end of their cycle who don't want to really commit and don't want to, as I say, go to the well for you again, then possibly. But I think Carter Vickers is massive for us. It'd be a huge blow to lose him. It'd be a mountain for us to replace him in terms of getting someone with that quality. We've struggled at centre half for so long, but let's hope we keep a hold of him. The World Cup next summer, maybe. I know he's he's kind of in and out with the US team, so that might be a factor for him if he goes to a higher level. He might think his chances of starting in the World Cup for the US are much better. We'll see how it pans out this summer. I knew someone would ask me about this. Paul McLean, did you see Kyogo might be off to Birmingham this summer? What's your thoughts on that move for him? I think it's been a disaster for Kyogo, in it. There's no getting away from it. He made the move to Rennes, and I think Sampaoli get sacked. If not before they'd even played a game, then it was after the very first game that he had under him. So that didn't go to plan. I don't think the new manager, is it Habib Bye that's coaching Rennes now? Don't think he fancies him. He's barely kicked a ball, and then it looks like he's going to go to the Championship and play for Birmingham and play for Chris Davies, obviously, who we know from his time at Celtic. Tomoki Iwata is there as well. So that's maybe a bit of familiarity for him. Well, Birmingham, with the investment that they've got and the fact that there's recent examples of clubs doing back-to-back promotions from League One to the Championship up to the Premier League, like Ipswich did, maybe that's the sort of ambition there. But I don't think when he left, he'd have thought he'd been playing football in the Championship. I don't think it's gone through yet, that transfer. But it's disappointing for him. I don't think his new agency have advised him very well. I'm sure he'll be earning good money if he moves to the Championship and stuff, but it's hardly the level that he would have wanted to play at. And I don't think it's the level where he'll go straight into the Japan team either, because, I mean, it's a reach to say that playing in the Championship's better than playing for Celtic if you've got access to European football in terms of your ability to play for your national team. But I know that the Japan manager was very, very uncomplimentary about the Scottish game. Right. Any other questions before we finish up? Charminator's asking, you going for the Greg Taylor haircut? Not quite, but I'm going for a haircut in about half an hour. So we'll see. We'll see what I come out looking like. We'll get back to Dean's question about the kit, because I just started it before the fixtures came out. Thoughts on the new kit? Looks well on KT. I'm a bit disappointed, to be honest. I'm a bit disappointed with the kit. I mean, it looks all right. I think they always look better than they initially do. I think at times you see the first pictures coming out for like some warehouse and you're never convinced. I'm not sure Adidas have done particularly well with the kits. I think the one I'm wearing is probably the best one they've ever designed, and obviously the first team have never wore it. It was just a sort of limited edition kit. So I seen the training gear come out as well. Let us know in the comments what you think of the new training gear. Thought that was a bit underwhelming as well. I think at times the Adidas training gear has been really good. I've got a few from the seasons gone by, but I looked at this season stuff and I don't think it was particularly great. Right, so let's jump back to the fixtures before we round off, because I know that I haven't gone into any detail after the first five. So shout out in the comments if you see any busy periods, any really difficult runs here. October, away to Dundee, away to Hearts, home to Falkirk on a Wednesday night, away to Tannadice. It's kind of all right. You're always looking at December for your run of games. Home to Rangers on the 3rd of January. Before that game, we're away to Livingston, away to Motherwell, home to Aberdeen before the Livingston game, away to Falkirk. Trying to look for any really difficult runs of away fixtures here. I remember last season we had Easter Road and Tynecastle back to back. I think we've had that a couple of times. I suppose that's not an easy start, is it? Away to Aberdeen, away to Rangers, away to Kilmarnock after the international break. It's not the easiest of starts, but I don't see too many really awkward runs of fixtures. Obviously, hopefully we'll have, if we navigate this qualifier, we're going to have Champions League fixtures, which are going to get sandwiched in between these games. So, it's going to be interesting to see how they fall. Obviously, if you're travelling away in Europe and you're coming back to a Hibs away, a Hearts away, those are really, really difficult games. So, there's a couple of comments saying 3 of the first 5 are difficult away games, and that is true. That's the case. But aside from that, as I say, I don't see too many consecutive runs of away games that are really difficult. Away at St Mirren, away to Hibs, that's not particularly easy. St Mirren are obviously really awkward opponents. Hibs were brilliant last season, finishing third, so that's a difficult week. And if you think we could have a Champions League game, Sang was right in between those games, away at St Mirren, away at Hibs. That's not so easy. But I think other than that difficult start, we're relatively happy with those fixtures. Not happy, of course, with the kick-off time, and there'll be a few of them through the season, won't there? Whether it's home games, some of the away games. As I say, no Dingwall this season, but I'm sure there'll be a really early start at Pittodrie, or a post-split game at Pittodrie, 8 o'clock kick-off like there was at the back end of last season. There's always a few of those, but there you go. That is the fixtures, and that rounds off this live stream. I better go and get on with my day. Whatever you're doing, enjoy the rest of your Friday, and I'll see you at the start of next week with more transfer news, hopefully some concrete transfer news in terms of incoming players. And we'll also look in more detail at the attacking area of the pitch, the situation up front, and out wide as well. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week. Cheers.